This is the plaintiff, Maria Mihai. She says the defendant agreed to pay her $6,500 to take over the lease on her spa and laser hair removal business, and the woman is stiffing her. That's right, she only paid her $3,000, and she still owes her $3,500, and there's no way she's gonna let this woman out and out steal from her like she's attempting to do, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Tatiana Barriers. She says she agreed to purchase the plaintiff's business, and that included the furniture. When she arrived after the deal was closed, all the furniture was completely cleaned out, and she had to spend big bucks refurnishing the place. The plaintiff didn't hold up her end of the bargain, and there's no way she owes her the money she's seeking today. She's accused of cleaning out the place.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff sold her spa and laser hair removal business to the defendant and says that she only got part of the money. The defendant hasn't anteed up the full amount. But the defendant says the plaintiff was supposed to leave the furniture behind, but didn't. So she isn't paying her anything else. It's the case of a hairy situation.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi.
So you have been in the spa and laser hair removal. I didn't even know that laser hair removal existed 35 years ago. I guess it did,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How long has it been around?
Long time.
You know?
20 years.
It's
How many years?
20.
20 years is how long you've been in it, or how long it's
How
been
long
around?
laser exists?
I'm not sure about that. I think it has been around longer. But in any event, that is not our issue today. You ended up selling.
No. I'm sorry.
You didn't end up selling? What'd you do?
She approached me to rent the space at my salon. So I make an agreement between me and her. The agreement was rented the space.
That what?
Rent the space on my
You
salon.
don't own the space. You're renting the space.
I'm renting from the landlord.
Right.
But the, what's her name? Tatiana, she wants to rent the space in my salon the beginning.
So she's buying your lease interest.
Only the lease.
Show me the agreement that you signed with her.
Yes.
Is this an original or a copy?
Original.
Okay.
I'm sorry for my spelling and my writing because, you know, I'm immigrant.
Tatiana Barrios, and then her address, agreed to pay $6,500 for the lease with South
Without equipment.
with South Equipment.
Yes.
What's South Equipment?
Without equipment is my equipment, all my equipment, which I have the picture.
I don't understand a word you're saying. I'm sorry.
It's
What
my
is
accent, I'm
South
sorry.
Equipment? South Equipment is what that's...
Without.
Are you trying to say without?
Without, yes.
Well, you wrote with South Equipment.
Without.
What is South Equipment? What did you think it meant? What did you think you were buying, hon?
I thought with that equipment.
What equipment?
Everything inside.
You thought you were buying everything inside. You don't think they would say that if you were buying everything inside? What kind of equipment are we talking about?
Welcome back to the People's Court. The plaintiff sold the defendant her laser hair removal business and says the defendant didn't pay in full. But the defendant is saying she agreed to buy the business, but that also meant everything inside. Are equipment and furniture normally included with a business sale? Let's go back into the courtroom.
She said she's gonna take her laser machine. I said, okay.
I have
Excuse me. Go on.
But everything else, like I assume it's gonna be there. I'm paying her $6,500, and we specifically discuss front desk.
Well, if the front desk was specifically discussed, why didn't you just write that in there? I'm keeping the front desk. Why don't you just say what you mean so that someone doesn't sit here and try to figure out that with South Equipment means without equipment, or that it means front desk. Like, what did you think? There's no such thing as South Equipment.
I didn't
is
wanna
there?
pay.
Stop a second. Is there something called South Equipment? Like, is there a hair laser removal thing that has a label on it that says South Equipment? No, right? So what did you think that meant?
I didn't want to pay, to make proper agreement.
You don't have to. A proper agreement just means you take a pen and you write more. You don't have to pay a lawyer.
Yeah.
Just say what you mean. That's all an agreement is.
But we
spell it
discussed-
out. If you expected to buy not just her interest in the lease, but also all of the equipment, we're talking about a lot of stuff. How much equipment did you have there?
I have the picture.
Let me see.
It's over 100,000, my equipment.
Did you think you were for free getting all this stuff? Or did you think you were getting $100,000 worth of equipment for $6,500 plus the lease engine? Because that's not believable, okay? That doesn't make any sense. You didn't expect her to leave all that. What really happened is you really wanted the front desk, I guess, because that's the only thing you keep talking about. Why aren't you talking about all this if you bought all the machinery? How come I don't hear you complaining about that?
We didn't put it here, but we talked for about 3 hours. So she said she's gonna take equipment, which is laser, but she's gonna leave stuff, which is, some chairs, front desk.
Were you supposed to leave the front desk?
I left it. I left and she put on the street.
She says you didn't leave the front desk. That's why she's mad.
I left it. Her partner, she put on the street. She called me, she threatened me. If you don't take everything out of the salon.
Her partner?
Yes, she has a partner, whatever.
Do you have a partner?
No. Partner or a manager, I don't know
what is the name of the human you are referring to?
Valentina.
Do you know Valentina?
I have manager Susanna, and
all right, so she says Valentina called her and said, go pick up your junk, I put it on the front. Did that happen? Have you spoken to Valentina?
I know I sign agreement, I take over lease, I pay landlord, I come back and it's empty.
Listen to me. You know that $100,000 worth of equipment was not part of the lease.
Of course, yeah, of course.
If you think something else was part of the lease, put it in the lease, part of the sale, put it in the sale document. But on top of that, she's now telling me that not only did she leave that stupid front desk, but that your manager, Valentina, told her, get your junk, I had to put it out on the curb, get everything out of here. Did that happen?
I know that I come back and it's nothing.
Did that happen? Did Valentina call her? Do you know whether Valentina called her?
I don't know.
Okay, you should. So I'm going to order you. See, what I think happened is that you just decided to pocket the money and you hoped she'd go away. But she didn't. So she may not be able to write a grammatically perfect agreement, but she's certainly able to fight for her rights in court. I am ordering you to pay the remainder of the balance of the agreement, which you owe $3,500. Verdict for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff is going to get her money, the $3,500 you still owe. You got to give it to her. What are you thinking?
A little bit upset because it was very fast. I still have something to say. Like in January when I have to pay $3,500, I call her and I'm like, let me give you two. Let me give you payments. Give me a little bit time because I spent so much money on brand new furniture.
Either way, you would have owed her the money, right? The
Yes.
$3,500? It just
Yes.
means now you have a court order to do it.
Yes.
All right. Sorry about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Ms. Mihai. If she had asked for more time, would you have given her more time to pay the money?
No.
No.
No, because I close the store tomorrow and I'm going to be out of the money.
No, okay. All right.
Everybody can, overnight.
That's
just
true.
Trust the salon and that's it. For that reason, I go to the court to decide.
Well, congratulations. You're going to get your
Thank
money.
you so
okay?
much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. All right, Harvey.
Doug, I got to say, it's crazy the defendant didn't know what she was buying. It is so important, I think, in situations like this, big-ticket items. Hire a lawyer. It makes so much sense. What you pay is going to save you so much more compared to what happens if you're in a dispute.
These are the plaintiffs, Joseph Cover Sr. and Joseph Cover Jr. They say the defendant, their landlord, made it impossible to do their work in the space they rented from him, which cost them business, and they ultimately had to move out. Since the defendant interfered with their ability to make a living, he needs to pay them the $4,694 they're out. This is the defendant, Terrence Vaughn. He says this lawsuit's absurd, and he is in fact shocked the plaintiffs are even attempting to sue him in court. They were nightmare tenants who blasted music so loud you could hear it on the street 100 feet away. He's thankful they left. Certainly doesn't owe them a dime, and he's the one due money from them for all the problems they caused. He's accused of interfering. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,296.42 for damages and uncollected rent.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiffs say their landlord made it impossible for them to do work in their space, but the defendant says the plaintiffs were the worst tenants in the world. It's the case of men not at work.
Okay, Joseph Cover and Joseph Cover Jr., you are suing Terrence Vaughn?
Yeah.
For $4,604 in a security deposit he owes you, plus loss of business and other expenses you say you had to incur because he did not deliver on a lease that you thought you'd have permission to do certain things on. You have a counterclaim against him for $1,296.42 in damages that you say you have sustained upon their vacating from the lease. What's going on?
Well, okay. Early March of last year. Oh no, May of last year. A friend of mine told me their uncle was looking, you know, because his son was moving out, and he was looking for a tenant. So I told her I wasn't really looking for a place, and then she said, no, it's a lot bigger, and since she knows that I'm a DJ, because her husband and I are DJ buddies. We used to do countless parties, and the fact that I was also working on a TV show or for internet. She said
a TV show for internet.
Right.
Okay, a show for internet.
An internet show, internet-based show. So me and one of my artists, because I also have a record label, we had an apartment together, and when his mother got sick, she moved in, and it was like a party because even though it was a little cramped, but she fed. All I had to do was buy food. She fed us. She did my laundry. She cleaned the house, and
Well, then why'd you move in with him? Was he going to do better?
No, well. At first, I wasn't even planning on using the place as for me to live in. I was going to use it for a studio because when
I'm sorry. Is this a house or an apartment?
Apartment.
It's an apartment that you lease.
Yes.
So you're subletting to him. How are you going to get studio space in a residential place that he's not even the owner of?
Exactly my point. Well, first thing I asked him, I said, well, could I put a studio in here? Because, that's what I'm looking to do. And he was like, no problem.
Okay,
I told him.
So you lease the place, but you end up moving in and living there.
Well, because when my son found out that what I was setting up there, he also has a magazine that he's putting together.
What kind of magazine?
It's like a men's interest.
A what?
A men's interest.
A men's interest?
Something like Smooth King Show.
What? Is it golf?
No, it's a bikini magazine.
It's like models
a
and
bikini magazine.
A bikini magazine?
Right.
Interest.
It has articles in there, models.
Yeah, people read it for the articles, but what is it? Soft porn? What is this?
If you want to call it that.
That's what your father called it in the complaint.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But what I actually classify it as, 21.
So go on.
So
he decides he wants to run the soft porn magazine out of the place too.
Because we was going to use the same equipment to do photo shoots.
Okay.
So it just became like and then he also wanted the offspring from his mother. So
he wanted what?
To move out from his mother.
Okay.
So to me it became like wow, now I have a chance to bond with my son because the last time we were under the same roof he was 2 years old.
Right.
So now.
So you both slept at that place. So this was your residence once you started renting this place, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But you wanted to be able to do certain things in it, and I guess along the pike, this did not sit well with you. How long were they there?
My understanding from the beginning was, okay, he's wanted to rent the room. He was paying me every 4 weeks. I said, I showed him the room. He said, oh, it's nice. I said, you have access to the living room. I didn't say anything about a studio. I know he used the studio not far from there, and it was like, oh, this will be a little more convenient for me to get to my studio. So I assume that's another reason why he was interested in taking the place, because it was closer to the studio he was using. Okay, my thing was, okay, you could bring your equipment in. I don't have a problem with him playing music. I complained one time when the music was being heard all the way up the block and everybody was looking up like it was a disco going on in the house.
By then they had lived there for how long?
A month and a half.
Okay, so what happened? How did they end up, had they moved out?
Yes.
And did they move out at your request?
No.
Okay, well, how did they end up moving out?
He came to me around January and said I'm moving in March.
So he gives you notice that he wants to move out, and then what happens? He moves out.
I said, is there a problem? He said, well, things ain't working out the way I thought.
Okay.
That's
now,
okay.
so this is what day that he gives you notice?
I believe it was January 15th.
Okay, and then he moves out when?
The 13th of February. He told me the night before because, this way he wouldn't have to pay. He told me then, oh, I'm moving out tomorrow.
Okay, so he gives you notice on January 15th, but the notice he gives you is I'm moving out in March.
March.
Okay, is that accurate that you gave him notice on January that you were moving out in March?
Yeah, and then the next day when we had the other conversation, I was like, well, things are moving a little quicker than I thought.
So according to you, you told him then that you were moving in February 15th?
Yes.
Okay, and you say that didn't happen?
I'm saying he told me
March and only March.
And when I heard he was moving out, it was the day before. I'm moving. He did say something a couple of days later, like things is moving a little fast. He didn't specify, but then when, like I said, when that day before he moved, he said I'm moving out tomorrow.
Okay, now you have a security deposit of how much?
$700 accrued.
All right, now you're suing for derailing your show, derailing your son's magazine.
Well,
how did he derail your show?
All right.
And how did he derail your son's porn?
Well, it's actually his photos. So go ahead.
Okay, why don't you tell me? You wanted to have a bunch of scantily clad women in the apartment taking pictures for soft porn, and he didn't allow it to happen?
Right. It's not. Again, it's not actually soft. It's no nudity involved. It's just swimwear, lingerie, stuff.
Are you selling swimwear, dude?
No,
or are you
I'm
selling fancy?
I'm selling a magazine that has those kind of pictures in there.
Right. You're not selling swimwear, right? Go on.
No, I'm not selling swimwear.
My son decided to try out a photo shoot in his room. Well, that'll be interesting. The shoot came to an abrupt end when Terrence came out ranting about how someone used his bathroom. How'd you figure that one out?
I saw it looked like someone went in my bathroom. There's two bathrooms. They know there's a bathroom that's for them to use on their own. Nobody else goes in there, so I questioned it. Little did I know they had a photo shoot in there, though.
There were a bunch of women in bikinis in his bedroom?
There was in the living room at one time. They did have a photo shoot in my living room.
Okay, and did you ever put that one to a stop?
I didn't say anything at that time.
Okay, and then so now there's a photo shoot in the bedroom, but your objection is that a scantily clad bikinied girl used your bathroom?
No, I didn't know who used the bathroom.
You just knew that somebody had used it?
Right, exactly.
So can the landlord object if this guy or these guys decide they're just going to do model bikini shoots in the building that they rent?
No, I don't think they can because they're paying rent and
it's legal.
It's legal, yeah, as long as it's not prostitution or something bad like that.
And we have no evidence of that?
I think the landlord can object because you don't know if the tenants have the proper insurance to run their business.
They don't have a bikini license. Is that what you're saying? What do you think?
I disagree, actually. As long as it's legal activity and the tenant's paying the rent, they have the right to do what they want.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
You're going to have a counterclaim for $1,296.42 for what? 16 days in February because you feel he didn't give you notice. I understand that.
Right.
$150 owed on the security deposit.
Yeah, he was supposed to give me a month's security.
Yeah, but you don't get it later if you didn't do anything about it beforehand. What you get is whatever
what
you're
happened
out.
was
Security's to cover what you're out. $75 to paint the son's room. Why?
Because I have some photos.
Yeah, I'd like to see them.
Okay. I have photos that damaged the wall in his bedroom. You have some damage on the floor in the father's room.
And what is this on the wall?
That's
I had placed his TV on the wall, and then when we took it down, I had repaired it, and the only thing that just needed was a little paint, and we saw the yellow paint that was there already. So
say it again?
There's yellow paint that was there when we left. He had yellow paint.
You mean a can?
He had the paint. It was in the bathroom the entire time that was there.
Why didn't you paint it?
You're right. I should have painted, but it
and
was
then the damage to. But did you spackle this?
Yeah, I did.
To cover the hole.
I fixed it.
And then the damage to the floor. How did that happen?
That floor was not new when I moved in. I mean, I may have caught a couple more scratches from me sitting at my desk, but that floor was not new.
That's over your desk? That's where your desk chair was?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's what we have. We have a $700 security deposit. We have some damage that I'm looking at that has a value.
Now, when I was going to deduct, excuse me, Judge, when I was going to deduct $175 for the damage, he didn't have a problem with that.
And then what happened?
And then I got something in the mail before all that was
Did
resolved.
you ever agree to that and then like decided you didn't want to agree to it?
No, what I told him was that.
And if you deducted 175 for it, why is it now worth 491? I'm sorry, why is it now worth?
Well, there was a couple.
I'm sorry, wait. Why is it now worth 800 and something?
Because once he sued, and
you got mad, and it all of
yeah,
a
I
sudden
said I'm not here because I was trying to be, cordial, like okay, let's just get this done.
Everybody stop. I'm done.
Right.
Okay.
But you're not. Yeah.
No, I'm done. Oh, stick a fork in me. I am done. Okay. I don't care about your photo shoot or your soft porn or your this or your that or whatever else. It didn't work out, so you can get out. That's it. That's your remedy, is to get out. You don't get to sue for moving costs. You don't get to sue for lost business because he didn't like that there's a bunch of women parading in bikinis being photographed in the bedroom, one of them using his toilet. I mean, this is ridiculous. It didn't work out. You were released. Go. It takes you 30 days to find a new place and get out somewhere. Go ahead and go. That's it. All right? What this is really about, and the right you have is, hey, Judge, I got a security deposit and he's keeping too much. Okay. Now, you got a counterclaim against him for rent. If I believe he didn't give you sufficient notice, then you get that rent. I believe he gave you sufficient notice. All right? You yourself admit that he said, hey, this is moving a lot faster. And then what? And then you go, no, I don't want to hear anymore. Don't talk. This is the part where you listen. You've been talking for a long time. Okay? So I believe you knew that at that point that, in fact, it was happening in February and not March. I'm not going to order him to pay you the rent. As for the damage, I find that $175 is probably pretty close to exactly where I was going to end up here, so it's interesting that you ended up there. So I'm going to allow you to deduct $175 from the security deposit, like the original plan was, and order you to pay back $525 net judgment in favor of the plaintiff on the counterclaim 0.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hold on right there, guys, please.
Let's see what the defendant has to say coming out after that verdict from Judge Millian. Step on in here and give me your reaction to the outcome.
I think it's outrageous. I mean, he didn't give me notice. He moved out prior to the time he said. He admitted he said March. He said things are moving a little fast, but he didn't give a date. So that I should have gotten the 2 weeks that he left early on.
What about the work they were doing? Give me a review of the magazine to be.
Well, I mean, it depends on your taste. I leave it up to.
Okay, right around the corner there. Okay, the documents are waiting for you guys. All right, so step on in here. You satisfied how this comes out?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. How's the TV show, the internet show? Did it?
Well, right
happen?
right now it's dead until I get some more life into it.
And the magazine, did it happen?
We're still working on it, but it's not softcore porn, though.
All right, I know. Harvey?
I'm going to make this short and sweet. The more you fill into a lease before you move into the place, the better. You establish the ground rules of the relationship. It's better for both parties. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Daryl Giuliano. She says the defendants rented a laundromat from her and basically got in over their heads. They were naive enough to think it would just run itself, and basically they just ran it into the ground. They broke their lease, owe her for back rent, utilities, and snow removal. And since business is business, she's suing for the $2,830.71 she's due. These are the defendants, Julio Lopez and Tom Couchman. They say there was a leak in the roof of the laundromat and the plaintiff never addressed it. Over time, it got so bad they needed a 50-gallon garbage can to catch the water that poured in. They say they don't owe the plaintiff a thing because she misled them about the condition of the laundromat and the costs to run it. They're accused of taking their landlord to the cleaners.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff claims the defendant ran her laundromat into the ground, but the defendant claims the joint leaked like a mother, and that's why it failed. It's the case of Tiny Bubbles Make Me Sue.
Thank you, Douglas. Vodar Properties Incorporated, represented here by Daryl Giuliano.
Yes.
Okay, you're the owner?
Yes, I am.
You are suing Julio Lopez and Tom Couchman and their company. You've asked us not to mention the company name, and we'll respect that, for $2,830.71 in rent and electrical bills for both that company as well as another place they were renting from you for a business that didn't do so well. Tell me what's going on.
Well, in July, Tom and Julio began renting another piece of my property. I have commercial property in Wappingers Falls that encompasses several buildings. They opened a shop in August.
The next month?
The next month, I have another piece of my property that became available for rent, a laundromat, which was a laundromat, has been since 1986. At the beginning of September, middle part of September, I was approached by Tom in regards to them renting that piece of property also. So he began renting for 6 months.
Starting when?
October 1st.
Okay, so they take over the one property in July, they take over the next property in October.
That is
and that
correct.
business was a laundromat. And
Yes.
they sign a lease. Do you have a copy of the lease?
Yes, I do.
All right, and they pay the first few months, but then what goes wrong?
I receive a phone call from them on January 29th in regards to a leak in the ceiling in the laundromat. I believe that was a Saturday. I go to the property on Monday the 31st. The doors are locked to the laundromat, and it's open 7 days a week. Locked. So I call Tom on the phone. I says, I'm here. He says, we've shut down the business. We're not running the business anymore as a laundromat. Okay. The next phone call, so I leave. I can't get in. He has the keys. I think he had changed the locks, which was okay. The next phone call I get is on February 6th, which he says that the leak is a little bit worse.
Well, but we knew there was a leak, so
Right.
why, and it wasn't fixed between the 29th and the 6th. Why?
There was a lot of snow in the area, a lot of snow
All
days.
right.
You couldn't get out.
Okay, so February 6th.
Right, so February 6th, he gives me another phone call. So I
Okay.
call my carpenter, who goes to the property. He assesses what he can because there's snow on the roof and everything, and we make an appointment to go the next day, Monday, the 7th, to meet at the property. I arrive at the property, call Tom again, ask him, please, could I have keys to get inside the laundromat at this time? And my carpenter went up. I have pictures to show that we had to take the snow off the roof. The picture of the leak that was there.
And what was it? Was it a roof problem?
It was a roof problem.
Okay, so did he fix it?
The carpenter did not fix it. I had no talkings with Tom or Julio throughout the process. I contacted...
He did or he didn't fix it?
The roof has not been fixed.
No, but why not?
What? Well, because right now I'm in the process of renovating the property.
No, in February, why wasn't it fixed? It's diagnosed, it's a week after the complaint.
I contact my insurance company, who
Right.
comes out, we make all the assessments, time has passed. At that point, I knew, clearly indicated that they were not paying the rent
But
for
no,
March.
at that point, they paid the rent, because the point
They
I'm
paid
at is February 6th.
February's rent, yes.
So between February 6th and February 28th, the
Right.
roof was not fixed. And now March has come, and they don't pay March. March is the first time they don't pay.
That is correct.
All right, so what happened between February 6th and February 28th?
That was dealings with the insurance company.
Gentlemen, what's going on? Why is it you wouldn't pay rent or electric bills for your business? Things didn't go so well?
Okay, January the 31st, she came to us with a Central Hudson bill, which is an electric bill.
The electrical bill.
Okay, so when she came into our shop, which is a glass shop, she came in with her son.
Wait. When she came into your shop,
Into our shop.
which is a what?
To talk to us,
The glass
about
shop.
the glass,
Okay.
which is the glass shop. To talk to us about the rent for the laundromat and the electric bill. When she came in there, she came in fire. She didn't come nicely. They jump on us. They jump on him first.
Jump on him?
Yeah, like kind of
Figuratively,
the kind
not-
of language that they were using, and they were going crazy.
What were they
I
saying?
sat on a chair. I said nothing. I was just looking
what
at
were
her.
they saying?
They were talking about, because when they first came in, they asked about the rent for the laundromat. We said we have that. We had no problem with that. When they mentioned the bill for the electric bill, for the electric, the money for the electric bill, and I tried to explain to her the reason why we couldn't pay that bill. And the reason why was because of the leak on the laundromat. That leak started sometime in December.
When we first moved in, I told her about I told her son.
Can you prove that?
I told.
Can you prove that?
No. I
No.
told
Why?
George and I told
I mean, usually people can prove that through an email, a text, a certified letter, the old-fashioned way.
She's always there. She's always in the property, okay? We have no reason
Watch this. Watch this. Did he say something in December about a leak?
No.
Okay. That's why you do it in writing, but go on.
Not anyway. Then when I got up and said something to her, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll pay you the Central Hudson bill.
The electric bill.
The electric bill. Let me pay for it. But before I finished the sentence, why we didn't have the money to pay the electric bill, she told me to shut up. When she says shut up, I said, well, if you don't want to listen to me, I have no reason to listen to you. So I walk out of the shop through the back door. Her son went around. He follows me back there, and he started wanting me to listen to him, but he didn't want to listen to anything I had to say. He gets into my face.
So if the landlord doesn't stop a leak, can the tenant hire a plumber and take the law basically into the tenant's own hands?
I'd say yeah, because the tenant has the right to be comfortable, so they should take it in their own hands, even if.
What do you think?
Absolutely not. I think the tenant should stay there. The water should pile up. They should not be obligated to fix it. It's completely the landlord.
So you let the water pile up?
Correct.
I agree.
Thanks, George. Going inside the courtroom.
Okay, I don't know what you're saying. Did he put his hands on your face like you just did?
No.
No, he was
just
close
puts
to
his
you and
face
talking.
into my face.
He invaded your personal space because his face was
Exactly.
close
Too
to your
close
face.
to me, screaming at me.
Okay.
And at that point, he says to them, enough. I don't want none of these problems in here. Please cut it off. And they left, and then that was it. But the problem was that the leak on the laundromat wasn't the way she says it was. That leak started sometime before. At the beginning, when we first rented the laundromat, that leak was very small. And then it kept on getting bigger. And we told her about 3 times about the water leak. She did nothing about it. Now, the laundromat came.
How'd the
leak came
laundromat
to
do
a
as a
point.
business?
Lousy.
Lousy. And so, as it turns out, you end up just closing down the business because it's not making enough money. Now, this isn't a small hole in the ceiling. This is a significant.
There was a significant amount of water coming from the roof on that ceiling.
The lease that you signed would have taken you to what month? That they signed would have taken them
till the end of March.
To the end of March. The amount you're suing for is the rent for March.
That is correct.
You feel you shouldn't have to pay it because the leak wasn't fixed. She feels that the leak is not the reason why you didn't pay March. It's because you closed down your business and you can't afford it and you're using the leak as an excuse. Have I got it?
No.
Well, no, you disagree. But the fact that you disagree with what she's saying doesn't change that that's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. What's your argument as to the electric bill and the water bill? Because the electric bill and the water bill are from October to February is the water bill, and January to February is the electric bill.
We actually didn't have the money at the time. We said we would take care of it.
So, all right. So there's no dispute about the water bill. That's $1324.71?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no dispute about the electric bill. And the only thing I'm pondering is March rent. I've got you closing down a business. I think you closed it because it was not profitable. I think you jumped into it too soon. I don't think you closed it because of the leak. I really don't. But I do have a leak. You know, there's another way to do this, and that's immediately stop the leak, pay the couple $1,000 or whatever it's going to cost, couple $100, couple $1,000, I don't care, to stop the leak, and then submit it to your insurance company instead of spending 2 months with a leak. You know, she doesn't have to do it that way. But then she had no sense of urgency. Once you'd already closed down the business, she already had no sense of urgency. But, you know, does that entitle you to pay no rent for March?
We couldn't run a business with the leak. We couldn't run it anymore.
Yeah.
A partial.
See, you could. When a landlord doesn't do what they're supposed to do, you could do it yourself, deduct it from the rent, and then I'd buy it. That's what I'd buy you a lot more if that's what you did. But when you don't do that, I think it might be a little bit of an excuse. In any event, I am going to order you to pay the electric. I'm going to order you to pay the water, and I'm going to provide you with a rent abatement. In other words, I agree with you that you shouldn't have to pay full rent. Okay? And I'm going to order that you pay the plaintiff in this case $2,000. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Well, here come the defendants out of the courtroom. Come on in here. She didn't collect everything, but she did collect. What's your reaction coming up?
Well, I think it was a little bit unfair, from the part of the judge because she was really, she neglected the building with all the snow and all the...
You think you guys got in a little bit over your head by opening up this laundromat at this time?
Yeah, maybe a little.
Maybe, right? There are expenses, water and power and the economy and everything.
I wish we would have known a little bit more. Maybe we jumped in a little too soon, but I figured that she was the type of person that would have told us everything.
We'll give you an A for effort.
We were already renting from her, so she should have known better,
Okay, you too. Thank you. All right, so come on out. You're quite the real estate mogul, aren't you?
I don't think that.
Gipsy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what happened in this case? I mean, wouldn't it be better to try to fix the hole and keep your tenant?
Well, I didn't have the full opportunity to mention to the judge that the insurance company, had the tenants remained there, would have paid for their business to be up and running and for all the days that they lost any money, if anything.
Really? Did they know that? Did you tell them that?
The tenant.
Get off of it.
They signed that
They obviously didn't know that.
Well, first of all, they had no part of that because the
And so
insurance
what's
company
happening to the
came
property
afterwards.
now?
Right now, it's going to be renovated.
Harvey?
Okay, the judge mentioned repair and deduct. You can do that in many states, but it's dicey because sometimes if you try and deduct too much from your rent, then the landlord can still sue you for non-payment if there's still a certain amount of rent due. So be really careful before you do it.
This is the plaintiff, Patrick Holbrook. He says he rented a 4-car garage from the defendant, and he was supposed to install a bathroom and running water, but never did. When he told the defendant the deal was off and asked for his money back, the guy gave him half and kept the rest. That's simply not fair, so he's suing for the return of the $1,600 he's owed. This is the defendant, Drew Schuttinger. He says the plaintiff was under some false impression he was going to install a slab concrete floor so he could use the garage to run a business. Then he started moaning about a bathroom. The plaintiff's delusional, tried to back out of the deal, and he's lucky he got any of his money back at all. He's accused of not getting the story straight.
Okay, Patrick Holbrook, you are suing Drew Schuttinger
Yes.
for $1,600 that you want returned to you because a property that you were going to lease from him, you ended up not leasing through no fault of your own, according to you. Tell me what happened.
I signed a lease agreement as of April 10th, and he procrastinated in getting the place ready.
What were you supposed to be renting?
I was supposed to be renting a 4-car garage.
Okay, in order to do what?
I was going to repair cars.
And this is zone commercial, correct?
No,
It's not zone commercial.
no, and he was made aware of that.
Wait, so you were going to rent to him for a commercial use, a place that's not zone commercial?
He was going to repair cars in there, not to run a business. He
But
was
what do you
told
think
that.
repairing cars was going to do? He's just going to do that
I
for free?
thought maybe he was, I knew he was going to be running a business. So,
Okay, and that's commercial?
Yeah.
For commercial use?
Yes.
So you were going to rent it to him, and it's not zone commercial?
Yes.
Okay, it's not mixed use?
No.
What is it?
It's a 4-family house.
Is it zoned residential?
It's residential, but it's kind of, it might be mixed use. I'm not really sure, but I'm looking to get the zone changed on the house. I'm surrounded by commercial property.
Okay, who's the gentleman you have with you?
That's the electrician, Stephen Cooney, that made
Okay,
the
and who's the
garage
lady that
ready.
you have with you?
This is my girlfriend, Erin.
Okay. That's a witness, I take it, because, and this is moral support? All right. What have you got in your hand?
I have a piece of paper here from Town of Huntington showing that he has a commercially zoned piece of property.
Ironically, you're the last guy who would want to show me that, but okay, I'll look at it. That's, all right, so go on.
He gave me the impression as long as I kept the gate closed and didn't let the town in, that I would be able to do the repair work there without a problem.
So he was telling you that this was on the sly, like he says.
Yeah.
So this was printed out on 6/14. Everything went to pot just before that.
Yes.
And this says here, property type 3 commercial on top.
That's what I'm being taxed as. That doesn't mean it's the zone.
How dare they tax you on something you can't use? I don't understand that. I've never heard of such a thing. And the odd part is that I know he's under the impression of whatever he's saying. I don't know if he's right, but I know he's under that impression because he tells you this when he rents it to you. Keep it on the down low. Don't make a lot of noise. How are you going to not make a lot of noise when you're repairing cars? It's not like that's
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible.
So anyway, go on.
So I wanted to move in. There was no electric.
What date, according to the lease, you're supposed to move in when?
Well, the lease was drawn up on the 10th of
What day were you supposed to move in?
April. I was, by the time he had said everything.
What day, according to the, all right, I'll answer it. May 15th.
May 15th.
Okay, and then what happens on May 15th?
There was no electric, there was no running water, there was no way
Okay,
to.
is that accurate that electric was still delayed?
Yes, because of LIPA.
Come on up. Yes, because of LIPA.
Yes.
And LIPA would be.
They failed to hook up the power to the telephone
LIPA's
pole.
your power company.
Yes.
And they failed to hook up something, but you had done the work when?
April?
In April.
Yeah.
All right. But according to you, there's more than just an electrical problem on May 15th. What else is wrong?
Well, there was no running water,
Okay.
no bathroom.
Okay. Because according to you, he's supposed to have built a bathroom? Because there was no bathroom in the garage, right?
Correct.
Okay. So according to you, he's supposed to build a bathroom. And according to you?
Not at all.
Not
it's
at all.
not on the lease, not at all. I never agreed to that. I wasn't going to the Board of Health to put a cesspool in for this.
Right. Okay. Where did you get the impression he was going to build a bathroom?
Because he had told me that he was going to build a bathroom.
If he told you he was going to, that's a rather major concession. And why then is that not in the lease? Because it's not.
Well, any residential lease agreement, which I signed, he's supposed to supply running water.
You didn't sign a residential lease agreement.
Bath.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not a residential lease agreement. What you signed is a fugazi thing with specifically crossed out that it was residential, where you're both under the impression that you're going to fool the government and that they won't know because you're not zoned for that. That's both of your impression.
Right.
So what really happened? Did you find another space that was better or something?
No, I've been working outdoors.
Okay. So according to you, there's no bathroom. When do you first say to him, I'm out?
As of June 3rd.
As of June 3rd, was there electrical?
No.
Is it accurate that as of June 3rd, there was no electric?
There was electric in there.
When was there electric?
There was electric in there a little bit after the 15th of May. It was finally turned on.
Prove when there was electric. How are you going to prove that?
I can't. I
Okay,
didn't know it was
but
going
you
to be an
know
issue.
it wasn't on the 15th, which is what the contract called for.
It was right on that date. It was turned on.
It wasn't on that day. You and I both know. Everyone within the sound of your voice knows it wasn't on that day.
Days. I'm not going to say it was on the exact date.
Well, you just did, and you shouldn't have. But anyway, now let's talk about this. Apparently, at some point, you pull out, which is when? What day do you say I'm done?
As of June 3rd, when I
And
found
what was
out.
the straw that broke the camel's back?
There was no electric.
Okay.
As of June 3rd.
All right. Now, you contact him directly and say, I want my money back. You had paid him $3,200.
I had my lawyer contact him.
Okay, so your lawyer contacts you and says, what does he say? What does the lawyer say?
First of all, he sends me a letter in the mail demanding $1,600 back. Not
Can I see the letter?
Not $3,200.
Okay. This is from him directly, not the lawyer.
Yes.
I hereby rescind the above referenced lease. He does that on June 6th. Upon your failure to deliver possession of the premises to me as of this date. Because you failed to deliver possession, paragraph 17 requires that you return my $1,600 security deposit. Why didn't you just ask for the $3,200? Because at that point, did you forget you gave him $32?
That was an error on my part. You're right.
That's how it reads.
Totally.
It reads like an error. So then you send $1,600, and in the $1,600 that you send him, you write in the memo line half of the lease refund.
Right.
And then you write on top of the memo line, is that your handwriting, balance
Yes.
$1,600?
Half, yes. That was when I cashed the check.
All
That
right,
was-
so what is your premise, that the $1,600 you sent him settles his case and that he shouldn't be able to sue you for another $1,600?
That's what he asked for, and that's what I sent back.
So does this plaintiff get his money back because it wasn't zone commercial? What do you think?
He should get his money back.
Why does he get his money back? I mean, who has an opinion about this? I want a strong opinion.
I
Yeah.
don't think he should get his money back. I think it's the plaintiff's responsibility to find out whether or not it's zoned commercially.
So you say it's the plaintiff's responsibility, but the defendant owns the property. You buying what she's saying? You buying that? Huh?
No, I think it's the person who owns the property. They have to provide a lease.
And they have to disclose that it's not commercial.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Okay, let me tell you what the problem is with your position, because there are many, and I don't even know where to begin. Number one, I don't know what this place is zoned. You are telling me that what I am looking at does not mean that it's zoned commercial. Ironically, this is a position you want, not a position you want. Because if it's not zoned commercial and you are keeping $1,600 because he's breaking a lease and you're entitled to it as rent, then you may not collect rent if it was an illegal lease. See? We have a policy in the courts that we do not help people circumvent the law. Oh, yeah, like for example, if you were a drug dealer and you had sold him cocaine and he hadn't paid you the money for the cocaine, I wouldn't say, hey, you've breached the contract. You owe him the money for that fine cocaine. We don't do that. So it's the same with rentals. You can't rent it the way you're renting it, so you can't keep rent for the way you're renting it. That's why it's funny that you're the guy scrambling to show me that piece of paper that you're arguing shows it's commercial. You're telling me, Judge, it's not commercial. I'm trying to get it commercial. If it's good enough for you that it's not commercial, it's good enough for me that it's not commercial. But in any event, let's put that to a side. Even assuming that you were appropriately leasing it out as commercial, the lease says you will deliver possession on May 15th. Both sides agree possession wasn't delivered on May 15th. I don't care what stopped you from delivering it. I don't care if LIPA stopped you from delivering it. It doesn't matter what stopped you from delivering it. You've breached, and when you breach, you must return the money to them. Your next position is, well, Judge, he only asked for 16. I gave him 16, and he cashed a check, so we're done. No, we're not done. In the state of New York, if you object on the check, if you write a little note on the check, you can still sue for the other $1,600, okay? So he can do that. By the way, as an aside, it's obvious to me he forgot how much money he gave to you, because he's not saying, hey, I'll settle for half. He says, give me back my $1,600 security deposit. He forgot that what he gave you was $3,200. You need to be, no, we're done. You need to be a little more organized, by the way, okay?
Yes.
You need to be a little more organized. And if that's not zone commercial, stop trying to rent it out as commercial. When you have a contract and you want a bathroom, yeah, that's like a relevant fact. You might want to scribble in with crayon on your lease that there's supposed to be a bathroom. Don't you think? That would be a good idea.
It would help.
All right? $1,600, verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Well, that didn't go so well for the defendant here. Come on out here. What's going through your mind coming out?
You know, I mean, he was owed the $1,600, so we got his 16 back, and that's it.
All right. Well, you're in there fighting. There was a material breach on your part. You want the judge to enforce an illegal contract, and also you're trying to take advantage of what was an honest mistake. So what part of the ruling didn't you expect to go against you?
Well, you know, I thought because LIPA failed to hook up the service when they did, and so.
All right. Follow Officer McIntosh that way. Okay. Documents are waiting. Well, the judge bails you out.
Yes, she did. Thank her.
What's with the careless approach you have?
It was just an oversight on my part. My lease agreement had stated $1,600 in paragraph 1, and then the other $1,600 was on paragraph 17. And I didn't include the other $1,600 in the action.
You forgot $1,600,
yes,
huh?
I did.
Are you that rich?
No, not at all.
How about getting the bathroom in the contract?
That was something he just made a lot of promises to me that he was going to do. He just never did.
Well,
he didn't
unless
put
you're
anything in
more
writing.
careful, you're going to be asking more judges to bail you out.
No, not anymore.
No.
I'll take care of it.
Harvey? The judge mentioned write words on the back of the check to preserve your rights. Those magic words are paid under protest. Write that right above your signature.